Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Before you is the leadership of Informal Sector Workers Association. We have a press statement in regards to the inequality in Kenya. And before we proceed, let's introduce ourselves let's get the introductions, then I'll read the statement.
Okay. I'm Vanessa from Kakamega County.
I'm Vivian from Kajiado County.
I'm Ali from Marsabit County.
John from Kisi County. Frederick from Nandi County.
Mary from Migori County.
Adam from Wajir County.
Anne from Kericho County.
David from Siaya County.
Samson from Bomet County.
Robert from Kisumu County.
Charles from Mombasa County.
Lucas from Nyamira County.
Arthur from Wabei County.
Frederick Tanzania County.
John from Kisi County.
Thank you very much, my colleagues. I'm John Peter, the National Coordinator. Our press statement of today is headline a call for immediate legislation of a wealth redistribution law to address deepening inequalities, rampant ethnicity, and widespread poverty in Kenya. Kenya is standing at crossroads. Despite steady economic growth, millions of citizens, particularly those in the informal economy, remain trapped in poverty as a small elite consolidates national wealth and power. It is astonishing to note that the richest 125 Kenyans now own more than what the 42 million other Kenyans combined possess. Meanwhile, public appointments remain captured by a few ethnic groups, eroding social cohesion and fairness in national resource distribution. The Informal Sector Workers Association calls upon Parliament, the National Treasury, and all policy actors to fast-track a comprehensive wealth redistribution law that guarantees equity in wealth acquisition, ownership, and access to opportunity, anchored on the constitutional principles of fairness, inclusivity, and social justice. Here are the key facts and statistics from the reputable organizations on the level of inequality and poverty in Kenya. On wealth concentration, the current situation is that top 1% of Kenyans, of rich Kenyans, control 78% of wealth. This is from the Oxfam Kenya report of 2025. On the wealth gap, the current situation is that 125 richest Kenyans own more than what 42 million Kenyans own. That is according to the report of Oxfam International. On poverty, 19 million Kenyans live below the poverty line, according to UNICEF report of 2024. On debt versus social spending, the current situation is that 68% of revenue collected by the Kenya government goes to repayment of debt. This is according to the report from the National Treasury and Oxfam. On ethnic dominance in the public service, it was found the current situation is that 5 ethnic groups control 80% of state jobs. This report is according to the National Commission and Integration Audit Report of 2025. On the informal workers, the current situation is that 83% of the workforce comprised of the informal sector workers. This report is according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics Labor Survey of 2024. Context and concern. Over the past decade, Kenya has witnessed a disturbing rise in income and wealth inequality. The gap between the rich and the poor has widened dramatically, with most citizens in the informal economy that comprises of traders, artisans, transporters, domestic workers, and smallholder farmers bearing the greatest burden. Reports by Oxfam, UNICEF, NCIC, and Oxford University confirm that inequality and ethnic exclusion have reached crisis levels. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few not only undermines social justice but also threatens national unity and long-term economic stability. Why a wealth distribution law is necessary and urgent in Kenya? A wealth distribution law would be a decisive step towards economic justice and national cohesion. Its goal is not to punish success, but to ensure that growth and prosperity benefit all Kenyans equitably. Key measures should include progressive taxation on excessive wealth and property. 2, channeling revenues to universal health care and education. 3, establishing a wealth and equity commission. 4, enforcing diversity quotas in public appointments. 5, guaranteeing fairness for informal sector workers. 5, protecting land and natural resources from monopolization. Impact on the informal sector. The informal sector workers, over 15 million Kenyans, drive local economies yet remain invisible in policy priorities. Rising inequality manifests in higher cost of living, limited access to credit, and lack of safety nets. A redistribution framework would ensure that wealth taxes fund healthcare, microloans, and social insurance for low-income earners. Rooting the law in Kenya's constitution and the legacy of justice. The 2010 Constitution guarantees equality and equitable resource sharing. The late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga believed that no Kenyan should be too rich to buy another, nor too poor to sell themselves for survival. A wealth redistribution law would honor this legacy by transforming social justice into enforceable economic fairness. Call to action. Our association calls upon the following key stakeholders to fast-track this law. 1. Parliament, State Law Office, and the National Treasury should table a wealth redistribution bill as a matter of priority. The President to declare inequality a national emergency. NCIC to link ethnic diversity compliance to budgets. County governments to adopt redistributive policies. Civil society to educate the public on equity reforms. And lastly, the media and citizens to sustain dialogue on fairness. Conclusion. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen of the media, Kenya cannot build a sustainable peace on inequality and exclusion. The wealth gap, ethnic dominance, and structural poverty are policy choices that can be reversed through legislative courage. Our organization stands ready to partner with the Parliament and the civil society in shaping a wealth redistribution law that protects every Kenyan dignity and uplifts low-income families. God have mercy on the less privileged Kenyans. God bless Kenya. Thank you. Okay, we have a few comments from my coordinators here. Let's give them time, and before we conclude, let them make the comments.
Thank you, members of the press, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the Kenya Workers Association, Informal Sector Workers Association. There's no need of going back to what has been read from the statements. I think you have all heard it, and what we'd just like to say is one, like two weeks back, we heard the report from the NCIC, the National Commission and Integration Commission, about how the workforce in Kenyan government is. And we have also heard the statement from the Oxfam International about how everything has been going on. So we are just urging, or we are just requesting or demanding from our legislators to legislate on how these legislations can be done, so that no one can be above, as it has been read from the statements. Because if you look at what has been read, you can have to understand and also have to see, like one person owns over billions or trillions of Kenyan shillings in this country. And this must stop. So, we are seriously demanding from our legislators to enact this through the legislation so that we should have equity. We should have an equity, not the way things are going in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, members of the press. My statement is very clear. The statement was very clear that in our country, people are getting rich when others are getting poor and poor. And this is what we are talking about, the mongrel policies. The policies that are not fitting people more so in the informal settlement. Because we are worried about the research carried recently that out of 125 billionaires in Kenya are rooting to our economy, while the people who are down here are suffering. I would urge the legislators to come again, review issues of health, which is very, very expensive. If health could be catered for, education, this is where most of the people are spending a lot of money, then we'd start now realizing that equality. But now, things are not well. We are calling upon the government and the legislature and even the stakeholders to see to it that equity is observed. For my take, that's my take to this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.